Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with episode number 5 or 6, might be 6, of our League of Champions tournament mode. As you guys see on the table, we are up to 16th place, slowly making our way back up the table and sucking a little less. As you guys saw in the last episode, Petachuk was the player of the month, and what good timing for it, as we are coming up against Chelsea for the first game of the episode. Also good timing because I believe Arsenal plays Chelsea this weekend, and we're getting back Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil off of injury. So all around good spot for us to have this episode right now. I'm really excited for the episode. This episode, I believe we are playing Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, and Bayer Leverkusen. So two teams that I really like, Leverkusen and Atletico Madrid. Both good teams, good players on the teams, and players I enjoy watching. So, but before I get ahead of myself, this is the game against Chelsea. Talking about Chelsea a little bit, obviously, big talking points regardless of whatever you want to talk about with Chelsea. I mean, manager Jose Mourinho not just falling apart this season, not being able to get the locker room behind him. No one wanted to do what he was doing because it wasn't working, and he ended up getting sacked for it. So, that just kind of is leading into what could, one, be a mass exodus of Chelsea. It could be the rebirth of Chelsea. A lot of things can happen. So, regardless of how I feel about Chelsea, this is about to be a very interesting next, I would say, 3 years. And the reason I say that is because you look at the transfers they're doing right now, and a lot of the deals are player switch deals. And I say that because players like Diego Costa, who might be leaving Chelsea because he's not playing well, he's not getting along with the team, things just aren't going well for him. Chelsea may be bringing in Jackson Martinez, who hasn't been doing well at Atletico Madrid. Pedro also might be leaving Chelsea, which that would be awful for Chelsea. Great for Arsenal, not gonna lie. I know there's rumors that Arsene Wenger might go after Cesc Fabregas, which I don't know if that's really true. I think Cesc definitely has the opportunity to play at Arsenal again before the end of his career. I don't know if Arsene Wenger would actually want to pay the money to get him, especially from Chelsea. They're going to make us pay a good bit, and he's really, he's not old, but he's getting there. He's at the back end of his prime. I do think he's still within his prime, but I don't think it's what Arsene Wenger looks for, I think he would look at getting Cesc Fabregas if Chelsea go out of their way to buy another player to play in front of Cesc Fabregas. That's the way Arsene Wenger does things. He waits for the opportunity to come, and then he pounces and grabs players. It's just how he does business, and it's a good policy. It works for us. So you guys see here, the game does end in a 1-1 draw. Anything else that's going on in Chelsea? I know they're looking at getting Nacho from Real Madrid to bolster the defense a little bit, because I think they've conceded 30-something goals already this season. So things aren't going well. That's definitely where they need to strengthen the most. And before I start talking about Bayer Leverkusen as this game starts, just kind of touching on the last couple of deals that might go through. Like I said, Diego Costa might be leaving, Pedro might be leaving, and Pato might be going to Chelsea, which would be very interesting. I think everyone wants to see the return of Pato to a bigger name team, so it'll definitely be interesting to see. Like I said, I think over the next 3 years, Chelsea's going to be very interesting to watch. Just kind of seeing how things play out, what managers they end up with, what coaching staff they end up with, what players they end up with. But coming into the Bayer Leverkusen game, beautiful goal right there. Lovely point to segue into this game. Mesut Ozil playing really well for the squad, managed to get a heading goal there, which just puts us in a good spot and a 1-0 lead against Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen has been an interesting talking point as well. Obviously, Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, the wonder kid right now. He's scoring goals for fun. He's just out there having a good time. which is really good to see because I am a Chicharito fan. Regardless of him playing in Manchester United, you couldn't help but love watching Chicharito play. He was the super sub, now he's the superstar regardless. So I don't think Chicharito is the answer for Leverkusen. He's a good start, but as you guys have probably seen, he is they're as a team in 5th place right now and not doing well. I mean, they're doing fine, they're scoring goals, but the defense is struggling. Their midfielders are looking a little out of form. Lars Bender is looking at possibly leaving, but I don't think he'll leave until the summer. I don't think he's going to get that early January transfer right now. Although Arsenal is targeting him, I think we are going to get him in the summer if we do end up getting him. Chicharito said he may be leaving in the summer. He's leaving his options open, which just kind of puts that in a weird place. So there's just a weird vibe in Leverkusen because nobody really knows what needs to be fixed to bring the team to another level and actually get into top 4 and actually start competing for the title, or at least competing for top 4, because let's be honest, Bayern Munich aren't slowing down, especially Pep Guardiola right now. So the other big, I guess, transfer talk that's going on with Leverkusen is possibly Debuchy from Arsenal going to Leverkusen. He wants to get out of Arsenal, understandably, because he wants to get into the squad. Side note, beautiful goal, 90th minute goal. I was in amazement, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but in this game I did realize, I don't know how many transfers aren't done in this series, because I saw Heung-min Son still in Leverkusen, not at Tottenham. A little disappointing to see that. I was, when it happened, I was like, okay, well, hopefully there's not many transfers that were left out, because I don't want to be in a position where this series just doesn't feel right because players aren't where they should be. I'm actually not even entirely sure if Chicharito is in this squad, to be honest, because I didn't see him play. But he may have also just been sitting on the bench, or I just didn't see him. One of the two. But don't worry, next time we do this series, I'll 100% make sure the squads are good, because I don't want to deal with that again, especially because I don't like playing against Son, because Son is one of my favorite players in the world. Even though he's at Tottenham now, he's still one of my favorite players. So to see him at Leverkusen in this was kind of disappointing, but at the same time, it wasn't that big of a deal. So, we just kind of moved on, and I just want to let you guys know that I do realize that actually happened, and it is what it is. As I was saying, Debuchy wants to get back into the French squad before the Euros in this year, so he's looking at possibly moving in January to either Aston Villa or Leverkusen. Like I said, completely understandable. I don't know. I don't think Arsene Wenger would let him leave, because I think Arsene Wenger still likes him. Although he is 30, I think that would be the main reason that he would move on, because he is an older player, and I don't think it would really hurt us too bad if he did leave. But he does give us another solid option at right back if something happened to Bellerin. So completely understandable. This game coming up against Atletico Madrid, we're separated by 4 points in the league right now. In real life, obviously, Atletico Madrid top of the league right now with a game in hand on Barcelona, so I'm sure Barcelona will kind of bring that back up to first place, and Atletico will settle into second place, at least for this time being. Jackson Martinez, I guess the low light or highlight, depending on how you want to look at it, for Atletico Madrid. He's not doing well ever since his transfer. He's just not scoring as many goals as I think everybody expected him to. Which, like that comes down to a lot of factors. I think Spain as an entire league is strengthening and giving him a little more difficulty, which makes me wonder this deal that might be going through with Chelsea possibly getting Jackson Martinez for Diego Costa. I don't think it's going to work for Jackson Martinez. I want to see him do well, obviously not for Chelsea, but I do want to see him do well, period. He's a good player. A little bit of a personality issue at least from what the tabloids say, but you can only take that as far as you can. But I just don't think he has the strength or mentality to actually do well in Spain or England, to be honest, especially if he's not doing well in Spain right now. So it's putting Atletico Madrid in an interesting spot. They're definitely going to enjoy life a little bit more if they can get another world-class striker in. Diego Costa would be fantastic for them to bring to the club. Obviously, doing well in Spain prior to would do fantastic things for them again. So I think that's definitely a move that would greatly benefit them, and I think they could honestly just challenge for the league with Barcelona and Real Madrid if they can bring in that extra striker. If they can't, Griezmann's still playing well. A lot of their players are still playing well. Atletico Madrid is still a stout squad regardless of what happens in this transfer window. As long as they don't have all their players leave and they don't switch too many players with Chelsea, because I know Chelsea's looking to buy and replace a bunch of players. I just don't want to see that happen in terms of Atletico Madrid, because that will, at the end of the day, ruin them a little bit. So, really disappointed not to get this goal, Danny Welbeck. When it was happening, I was thinking instant goal, fantastic. And then the second he slid, I knew he was going to miss the goal. And I just couldn't believe it. It was so disappointing not to get the goal right there. So, when talking about Atletico Madrid, as I was saying, I think they definitely have the team to challenge right now, but I think they could definitely use another striker. But I think that's the main reason Diego Simeone isn't really talking about the title, because he doesn't have that set striker that he's truly comfortable in scoring at week in, week out. Big news right now with them is Fernando Torres. Atletico Madrid hasn't decided if they want to keep him, and they only signed him to a one-year contract, I think. So he's currently on loan right now. Obviously, if you guys didn't know, he is with AC Milan. But his contract is going to end at the end of the season. So as obviously an older player, he has the opportunity to sign a pre-contract now with teams. Supposedly he has 8 offers right now to play somewhere if Atletico Madrid doesn't sign him to a permanent deal. So they need to decide quickly, or he's just going to take an offer elsewhere. So other than that, I mean, they're not really too big into the transfer news this year, so kind of surprisingly. So like I said, I think they're a good squad this season. Diego Simeone doesn't want to call Griezmann a top-tier world-class striker. I don't think he's among the very best, but he is a world-class striker. And I think they definitely need to make sure that they respect that as much as possible before they end up losing him, because he doesn't feel like he's wanted at the club, which I don't think he feels that way, and I don't think he will. But they just need to make sure they don't end up messing that up and him end up leaving for a different squad, especially a squad within Spain like Barcelona or Real Madrid. But other than that, this episode is going to come to a close here shortly. So, like I said, this was a good episode for me. I kind of pulled a little bit of points back, not too much because of the draws that do come out of this episode, but at the end of the day, I think the team's playing well. We're definitely going to be moving up the table here. And if we can just kind of string a couple wins together here in the next few episodes, we're definitely going to be making a push for the top half of the league and in a really good spot here at the turn of the season for the second half of the season. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next episode of this or the A-Bar career mode that's going to be going up tomorrow. And until then, I'll see you guys later.